Hi folks. Well, we're going to be doing something fun today and something easy and something that you might learn a few tips on what to do. If you're having, all of a sudden you need a pie and you don't have one, and I'm going to show you a quick, easy way to make either a coconut cream pie, or if you didn't want to do coconut, you could do banana cream. But we want to just show you some quick and easy steps. So what I have here is some whole milk, and I've measured it out. Now we're going to go ahead and use an instant pudding to make it really simple. But when you're going to use it for a pie filling, use 3/4 of the amount of milk that the box of your instant pudding calls for. And you always want to add your milk first, your wet ingredients, and then I'm going to add a couple of splashes of my Mexican vanilla to it to give it a good flavor. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my instant pudding. And you always, like I said, you always add your dry ingredients to your wet. And it mixes it really nice. So you can see we're just kind of mixing this all up and getting it nice and smooth. And then we're going to let it sit for a while to sit up for our pie. And so that's pretty much mixed. Get all the
Lumps, baby?
lumps and the pudding mixture all mixed together. So look how pretty that is. And that's going to set up real nice. Now what I've done here is we're going to make this coconut cream pie. So I've taken just some unsweetened coconut, and I have browned it in the oven to give it texture. Plus, look how pretty the coconut looks in there. It's not just plain old coconut, but it's anytime you toast or roast anything, it brings out the natural flavor. So our pudding is getting thick. So I'm just going to add, you add what you want. I'm going to add about this amount of coconut.
What's that, maybe a half cup?
Oh, I think it's a little more, maybe about maybe a cup. But it's up to you. It's strictly what you like. But this gives it a nice texture, and it's going to flavor. Now, if you wanted to, too, I used whole milk on this pudding, but if you wanted, you could use a coconut milk, which would be really wonderful with that. But we didn't have any, because this is a last-minute pie that we have to take to somebody. So we're just going to let that set up now. I'm going to put this away, this extra coconut, and we'll use it later. Now, one of the things that I want you to know is this. I have taken, and I always have them in the freezer, I have a pie shell, an unbaked pie shell. And I want to blind bake this, so meaning that there's nothing in it. And if you don't, so what we're going to do is I've thawed this out, and I'm going to take my fork and torque it all around the bottom. And that way the air will escape. And if you didn't do that, it would all puff up and it would fall apart. So we're just going to ahead and do this. Now, I'm going to show you something that I do all the time at church when we're doing pie. So, you see how I've just really got a lot of holes in that? So this is what we're going to do next. And I'm going to take some heavy cream. Heavy cream is a wonderful product. And I'm going to put some in the bottom of my pie shell like that. And then I'm going to brush it. And the reason is the heavy cream gives your pie your crust such a delicious flavor. We've talked about in the past fat and how fat tastes good. And of course, we know that heavy cream is fat, but it's so good. So anyway, we've brushed it liberally with the heavy cream. And now what I'm going to do is, hi, where have you been? I've been making a pie here. Have you not noticed I've been busy in the kitchen?
Well, I tell you what, when you're the camera woman, you have to do a little bit of preparation.
You know what, folks? I'm going to tell you something. Mamie wants to improve her camera work. I think it's fun the way she does it. Sure, there's all kinds of bloopers and mistakes, but that's what makes it fun. Don't you think, Mamie? It doesn't have to be perfect, because we're certainly not perfect.
No.
Well, you're more perfect than me.
No.
I like your fedora.
You like my fedora?
Yeah.
I found one.
It looks nice on you.
I mean, like Fifth Avenue. Is that where we bought it? Not exactly.
No, we were at the Mesa swap meet.
Oh, sorry. Well, they have very good prices, and they have absolutely everything.
They do. It's worth the trip.
It's worth it.
It's worth it. There's about 2,000 vendors that are there, and it takes a whole day to walk it. And we did not do that because we had our dog.
And I wanted to check and see. Would you turn around? Did you do your hair today?
No, because we.
Well, no, stay in the camera here.
We were busy today, Mamie.
You were busy today?
We went to church at 6:30 in the morning to Republican Club.
Okay.
Then we went to Shamrock because we have a lot of catering.
Time.
There's so much catering. We thought after December we'd be done. Guess what? We're not done.
We're not done.
We have 5 catering jobs coming up in a matter of 2 weeks, 2 on the same day on one occasion.
Yes. Have you noticed my nice bracelet charm?
Oh, lovely. Beautiful.
I decided to go authentic today, the real deal. So, could you explain these different charms?
Well, this one represents the cruise that we went on. And let's see, this one is best friends forever. This is when we went to New York. It's an apple. And this one, of course, is Tux. And this one is just a beautiful heart, because Mamie has a beautiful heart, because she dedicates it all to Jesus. And this is a Christmas present. And then this is just a Christmas to keep them all together. But it's a pretty bracelet, isn't it?
Very pretty.
And then what are these here?
Well, this heart represents my husband's heart.
Yes.
And this is another, an estate sale ring that's really pretty.
Very.
And this one, a very good friend in Lubbock, Texas, gave that to me. And then this, you've heard of these people that say, I can still wear my earrings that I wore in the 7th grade. Well, I can actually still wear my real turquoise ring.
Whoa.
But actually it used to go on this finger. Just saying. So, anyway,
you look good.
Well,
you look good.
Hey, I like my little hat.
I love your fedora on you.
Pretty.
So what we're doing here, we were into it already. We're making a coconut cream pie. Mamie has a neighbor that is not feeling well, so we're going to do some other food, but we thought we'd make this easy coconut cream pie, and I've gone over it with you. But I want to show you this right now. This is only using 3/4 of the instant pudding box and using all of the pudding mix, and only 3/4 of the milk that it calls for. But see how thick it is, Mamie?
Oh man, I can't wait to eat it. But
we want it thick. Yeah, I know you did. I saw you. We want it thick so that when we put it in the refrigerator to set up, so when we cut it, it doesn't fall apart.
Yeah.
And then I put in the toasted coconut, which I've showed you. And while we're at it, I showed you on the pie crust how to barricade the bottom of the crust with the sugar and the cream. But I want to tell you something that's really fun. Let's say you don't have time to make a cherry pie or an apple pie or any kind of berry pie, but you want it to look delicious. So the same thing. Take your heavy cream and brush it all over your pie very liberally. Then I want you to put sugar. What are you doing? I need to get a dryer sheet to keep my hair down. But anyway, after you brush the pie with your heavy cream, then sprinkle sugar on it. You can sprinkle some cinnamon on it. If you're doing a peach pie, you want to do cinnamon and nutmeg. But sprinkle it on very heavily, nice and liberally all over your pie, and bake it. When that thing comes out of the oven, they're going to think it's homemade.
Really?
It is so beautiful with that crust looking like that.
I think
You'll be
so.
the star of the
neighborhood,
or the church, wherever you
Cathedral,
take that pie.
whatever.
You do not have to tell people that it's a frozen pie and you fixed it up.
that's
You
not
could,
a lie.
but there's no point in it. Just bring this to, but it makes the crust so delicious, and then when the sugar caramelizes in the oven it's beautiful. Try it. It's a great tip and you'll be very pleased with your success. Okay, we're just waiting for the pie to come out of the oven, rather I should say the shell, and then we're going to build this pie. So in the meantime, Mamie, I think you better whip us some cream. And we'll go ahead and whip it, and basically it's just going to be, we're going to use our paddle, not our paddle, we're going to use our whip.
Okay, all right. We're going to take a little break
And then
here.
we'll show you how to do it.
I guess maybe it's a commercial break. I don't know what it's called,
Well,
but it's a break.
It's a break,
It's a break.
but not a break, where nothing's broken.
Not breaking.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. Okay, the pie is almost baking, but Mamie's going to go ahead and make the whipped cream. So let's talk about this. This is a stand mixer with our beater in it. Do you remember, Mamie, when we were young? Our mamas did not have these.
It's hard to remember when I was young.
Well, you're 82, but you were still young once.
I was.
But anyway, remember the days when you had that hand beater and you had to do that? Remember how hard that was?
Okay.
Did you remember your mom doing that when she wanted to beat up something like whipped cream or something? Well, that was a lot of work. Look how easy things are for us.
Let's do it.
Okay, we've got some heavy cream in here. Maybe pour a cap full of vanilla in there. And okay, then I just want you to do a pinch of salt. Salt's important because it brings out the flavor of the whipped cream. That's perfect. A little bit less, yeah. We don't want too much salt in there. So we're going to add some salt in there. And then what we're going to do, in the past when we made whipped cream, we used granulated sugar. And now we're going to use powdered sugar.
Powdered sugar.
And the reason we are is because the powdered sugar will stand up and hold up.
Okay.
The granulated sugar got mealy sometimes if we didn't get it enough. So we're going to add some powdered sugar to this.
Okay, how do I turn this thing on?
1 second, let me get it up here. Let's put the powdered sugar in it.
You know, in the springs, a year ago Christmas, you made a disaster from using somebody else's, whatever you call this thing, a mixer.
Mixer. We're going to, okay, maybe turn it on. Start slow, because it's got powdered sugar in it. Get it all mixed, then you're going to turn it higher.
Okay.
Okay?
Is it touching the bottom like that?
Well, it's going to go, now you can give it more speed. Go ahead. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, all the way. And let that mix up. So, there you go. And we're just going to let that mix for a couple of minutes. Turn this off for a minute. This is our pie shell. Look how beautifully it browned. And you see, I touched the bottom of the crust and it's crunchy. And that's how you want it, because it's going to barricade the pudding from the, you see, by putting the forks all around it, it didn't fall down. It's a perfectly cooked pie crust, and it's nice, and so when we cut this, it'll be real crunchy on the bottom, and that's how you want it. You don't want a soggy crust. Nothing worse than that.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm going to turn this back on a minute, so we'll be back in a second because I don't want you to have to hear this. We've got our whipped cream all ready, and our pie shell is out of the oven and it's cooled. Now we're going to take our pudding mix, and we're going to put it in. Look how thick it is.
I love that.
Isn't that great? Now remember, this has toasted coconut in it. But if you didn't want to do coconut pie, like I said, you could do a banana cream. And what you would do then, you wouldn't add coconut, but you'd add sliced bananas to it. But before you add your sliced bananas, after you've cut them, you want to soak them in lemon juice. Then they won't turn brown on you, because you don't want to have a beautiful banana cream pie and then you get into it and the bananas
Okay,
are...
don't scrape that too much, and do not put that in water. Okay?
Well, are you going to eat it?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I am.
So I've taken all this thick pie filling. How nice it is. And you see how I'm mounding it up in the center, because I want it to look like we spent hours and hours on this, which we haven't. Or we went to the most expensive bakery in town. So we're just kind of taking it and mounding it in the middle. See how that looks?
It's looking good. I tell you what, there's a place, we will not mention the name, but it's like north of Phoenix, and they sell pies for $22.
25.
Oh, 25, and a slice is $7, $8.
$8 a slice.
I mean, and let me tell you, these pies will be much better.
Okay, so we've got our pie here. It's all mounded. It's ready to go. Now we're going to add our whipped cream to it.
Did you say mounted?
Mound,
Oh,
like in a mound.
mounded. Oh,
So we're going to take our beautiful whipped cream that we've made, and we're going to be generous with this, because this is an impressive pie. So you see, now if you wanted to, you could do a meringue on this, but a coconut cream pie speaks for itself. You
I
really
like it.
need whipped cream on it.
Yeah, you know, actually, the only coconut cream pie I've ever made was made with calf slobbers. Well, it's actually white, the white of the egg, and that's what we called them. I was born on a farm, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why.
Well, this is what we're doing. Now, look how pretty looks. It looks
Just
pretty, doesn't
gorgeous.
it?
Oh, I
And
love
it's
it.
going to be mounded. It's going to be so much whipped cream on it. Then we're just springing it on the sides to cover it up, to make it look really pretty. And then the last thing we're going to do before we put this in the refrigerator to take to your neighbors tonight, I'm going to kind of take my spatula and I'm going around and I'm mounding it. I'm making like little clouds.
Oh,
See how I'm doing that, Mamie?
I love it. It's kind of like waves in the ocean, right?
So now the last thing we're going to do before, we know this is a coconut cream pie because we made it. But if somebody was to look at it, they would know that because it's all covered. So I'm going to take some of my toasted coconut that I have left, and I'm just going to sprinkle it over the top like that. And then everybody knows that we're having a coconut cream pie. Now, I'll give you something else. Suppose you wanted to make two kind of pies. Maybe you wanted to make a chocolate cream pie. Same thing with the blind tape thing, and they use the instant pudding and less milk. But you could add to your pudding mix some chocolate chips. You could add some pecans, or you just might want a traditional chocolate cream pie. But then on the top, you might want to sprinkle a few chocolate chips so that the people know that it's a chocolate cream pie. So do you think your neighbors are going to like this, Mamie?
Actually, I think we need to keep it.
No, we're going to share it
That's right.
for somebody.
Somebody said.
But anyway, there is our coconut cream pie.
Gorgeous.
Make it, folks. It's so fun.
Beautiful.
And you could do it with, there's so many different puddings that you could do. Pistachio pudding, chocolate pudding, vanilla pudding, which we've used. The secret, though, is using less milk and using good ingredients. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and put this in the refrigerator for about 3 hours so it sets up really nice.
Okay.
We'll show you later when we cut it, when we take it over to the neighbors. Any questions, just put it in the comments and we'll be happy to answer it.
And don't forget to subscribe and
Right.
like.
Right.
I
And
tell
I'm
you
gonna
what,
take-
our last video, it went out the roof with likes. We
It
just
did.
need subscribers.
And you know, folks, we're so pleased because it makes us happy that you're liking what we're doing. And we're doing this for you and we're doing it for God because we want to spread our faith in a tangible way by cooking. But you know what? We know that the Lord gives us the ability to do this. He gives us thoughts, and we're grateful to Him. And I'm grateful that I get to do this with Mamie. It's a privilege, and I count it that. So anyway, we'll be back later to show you this beautiful pie.
It's beautiful.